In Southern California, where she is preparing her latest concert tour and her newest record album, a woman who can best be introduced in one word. My first guest tonight is Cher.
He's right out in the lounge.
Oh, let's do it. Okay, count it, Gary.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
How is working by yourself different from working with a partner?
It's a lot more hard. It's not so easy, but with Sonny, I always knew that I could talk to Sonny because I was terrified to talk to the audience. Now I think that I give the audience a lot more because I talk to them, you know, I can relate to them. And when I first went out there, I thought, I'm going to die. I'll never be able to do this because I'm so shy that when I get out there, I'm just going to pass out. And I didn't, and I kept kind of gutting it out.
Why were you shy? Were you shy as a kid?
Because I was always shy as a kid. Like, my mother asked me to call information, and I just didn't want to do it because I didn't want to talk, and I was too nervous. You know, but, I mean, if you become a celebrity and you're forced to have people come up and talk to you all the time, you have to kind of get over it or don't do it. But most of the time, I mean, people are always nice to me. They really come up and they're, you know, like a couple of times they're not, but out of 12 years or 14 years or I don't know how many years I've been doing this, hardly ever. People always come up and say, I really like you, or something, you know, or my son likes you, or would you give me an autograph or something like that.
So then you don't feel that your public, your fans, hold your unconventional lifestyle against you?
I don't think so. I think that they always wish I would do something else, but they kind of will go along with it because I'm doing my best. I just happen to be a person doing the best they can, making lots of mistakes, and I'm in the public eye. I don't think I make that many more mistakes than a lot of normal people, but I just happen to be...
It's amplified?
Yeah. And also, I'm not positive of what I'm doing. I'm just trying to do the best I can.
How do you feel about your life to this point?
Oh, I'm thrilled with it.
Are you really?
Yes.
Even all the baloney that's gone down, you know, the divorce of Sonny and Cher, the birth of Cher's child, the beginning of acid rock and the career didn't go well, and all the gossip magazines and all the columns and the 9-day marriage, is that all okay with you?
Yeah.
People wonder, how could Cher marry Greg Allman and 9 days later ask for an annulment?
Because...
But just think about it for a second. Your fans are sitting out in Kansas. They're in Illinois. They're in Georgia. And they followed you, and they see you get married, and then 9 days later, she wants an annulment, and they say, wait a minute, what's going on?
Well, I didn't say that I was going to do everything perfectly, you know. I mean,
well, 9 days is...
I know, well, because it was a mistake in the beginning to do it, but I wanted to do it. It was like rushing to do something that I knew in some place in my intelligent self was the wrong thing to do, but I was so intelligent that I thought, I better do this, because if I don't,
right,
my smart self is going to say, you better just leave and back off of this whole situation. It was either get married or never see him again, and I really was open to experiencing what it would be like to be with him, and I was in love with him, even though I knew that it probably wasn't the wisest thing for me to do. I don't know. All you've got in your life when it's over are the things that you've done, you know?
Wasn't there a drug problem, Cher?
Yeah, but that's stupid. For me to rehash, wasn't there a drug problem? That's like saying, Doesn't the Statue of Liberty have something in her hand?
But there are some people who are turned on by drugs who think it's romantic, who think it's fun, who think it's sophisticated. And you're not one of those people. It's a turnoff for you. You made an anti-marijuana film or an anti-drug film at one time.
I don't think that... I don't think people can handle drugs. I think if they could, maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but I don't think they can. You know? I don't think people are strong enough. It's too much. There's too much stress. There's too many problems in life, and drugs is like it's like a big thing that says, "Here, take me," and forget all of it. You know, and I don't think people can handle drugs. I just don't think it does any good for you, really.
How much are you exposed to them in your work, in your life?
A lot.
In Los Angeles, a lot around.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried it?
Sure.
And what made you decide it wasn't for you?
I tried smoking grass, and it was like, I think I must have tried it about 10 times, and 5 times it was a lot of fun, and 5 times I was afraid of my own shadow. You know, I was real, like I thought, my God, I can feel my rib cage. This is very uncomfortable, you know. It doesn't agree with me so well, and I think that's one of the reasons that I don't do it. If I thought I could do it, I probably would, because I have never been a person that was very conventional, I guess. I mean, if someone said don't do it, that didn't really stop me from doing it, but I think that it's not, I can't handle it so well.
Let's just go over a couple of spots in your life. When you were a little kid growing up here in California, your mom was married 8 times.
Yes.
3 times to your father.
Yes.
What were the circumstances surrounding that?
I don't know, because mostly they were before, I never met my father till I was 11, and so she married him, I think either twice before I knew him and once after him, or once before I knew him and twice after him. But I don't really know. My father's a very charming man.
When you were growing up, then there wasn't a man in the house a lot.
No, isn't that strange? For 8 times, there was hardly ever a man in the house.
Yeah, they didn't stay for long, I guess.
No, my mother would have been much better today, because my mother was suffering under the kind of protocol or whatever that you had to marry a man to actually be with him. And so I think my mother would have fared much better now.
Don't you suffer under that protocol, to use your term?
You know, it's strange, because I was married to one man for 4 years and one man for 11 years, which I don't think is, you know, very, I mean, my record, I think, especially for Hollywood, is not so bad.
Where'd you meet Sonny Bono?
He wanted to go out with my girlfriend.
How'd you switch that around?
Well, that night we went out to double date, and the guy that I was with couldn't dance, and my girlfriend couldn't dance, and Sonny and I danced. And he still didn't like me, because my girlfriend was really beautiful, and he moved in next door to her, and she really wasn't interested, so I kind of was like, what's left? You know, and I was too skinny. Like, I remember the first time he wanted to take me to go swimming, and he said, all right, go change into your bathing suit, and I'll meet you, and we'll go swimming. And he comes running around the corner. He was really excited, and he saw me, and his face just kind of fell, and he went, my God, you don't have any shape at all. And then he said, well, come on. I was kind of like his pal.
Right.
We lived together in the beginning. I told my mother I was living with an airline stewardess, and...
And her name was Sonny.
No, I told her that I just lied. It was just crazy, but I didn't want to go home, and I was 16, and Sonny didn't know I was 16 at the time. I was lying to everybody. It was just too crazy. I was 16, and I told my mother he was a stewardess, and I told him I was 19, and then finally when my mother said she was going to put him in jail, I had to kind of come clean with both of them. And we lived together, and he just told me, he said, I don't find you very attractive, but I know you need a place to stay, and if you keep the house clean, you can sleep with me. And I said, okay, fine.
You went for that?
Yeah.
How do you get along with your former husbands now?
I don't know. I feel really close with all the men that I've been with, even the ones that I haven't been married to. I still have a really good relationship with them, or I could spend time with them. I think that the most important thing for me is to really like somebody. If I don't like them before, I couldn't like them afterwards. It's like someone said something once that said, you know, Cher, would you marry me? And I said no, and he said, well, you were never a good friend anyway. Which I think is kind of a strange thing, because if you couldn't like someone, then you couldn't really love them, and if you stopped loving them, you could still like them.
What's important to you?
My children.
What do you do with them? What's your life with your kids like?
I don't know.
Do they both live
crazy.
both live with you?
Yes.
Do they know their mommy is Cher?
I don't think they care.
But do they know?
Elijah doesn't know, but he knows, because like, when he was little, I didn't work, and then all of a sudden he came to Las Vegas and couldn't understand why I was up there, and what was I doing in those clothes, and all that, you know. And Chastity is just, since Chas was 6 weeks old, she's been on the road and knows what it is and doesn't care at all about it.
What do you want to do And I ask that, I mean, do
I
you...
want to kiss your little lips.
Okay, but I mean, do you want Bob Mackey to do 400 dresses for you every year, or somebody to do your hair 800 different ways a year, or, you know, do disco one week and rock and roll the next and love ballads the next? Have you sorted all this out and decided what's going to happen to you?
No.
Do you worry about it?
No.
Can this all just go on forever?
No.
Well, what do you want to do, Cher?
I want to entertain, and I want to do what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
Well, right now, I'm doing this rock and roll thing, which is, it's not so strange, really, because when I got into music, that's what I wanted to do. I always wanted to sing with a band my whole life. And then all of a sudden, I became too famous at doing other things to be able to stop making the money and having the commitments to do what it was that I really wanted to do, you know? I'm not the greatest singer in the world. I don't have a great range like Donna Summer or Barbra Streisand or Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, but lady, you got pipes, you know, you got pipes.
That's true, but what they lend themselves best to is rock and roll. When I went to Casablanca said, you know, we're not very big in rock and roll. Please do disco because we could break you at disco. And so I said, okay, I did. And not knowing if the disco people would accept me, you know. And Take Me Home was a big hit, and it was a good song, you know. But I could sing a ballad or a rock and roll very heavy song and feel very honest about it. And I feel very honest about this music, you know. But I can also go to Las Vegas and entertain, too. If it's honest for me, I can do it. If it doesn't feel right, I can't do it no matter what it is.
Tomorrow, right after Lobo, Dean Martin and Mariette Hartley host The Big Show with guests Joe Namath, Sister Sledge, and Tanya Tucker. Then from Larry Gelbart, the creator of MASH, it's United States. It does for marriage what MASH did for war. And Sunday, Burt Reynolds, Sally Field, and Jackie Gleason star in Smokey and the Bandit. It's the greatest chase ever. Be sure to watch The Tonight Show following the news next on NBC.